Tell me you don't want to go around going like this. Oh my god, my webcam's so laggy, dude. It's like the 1920s. Here we have common man doing exercise. It's like... Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the HGO podcast. I'm your host for today, Ethan, and as always, I'm joined with my good friends, Cal and Hunter. Hey guys, how you doing?
Oh, pretty good. Just swell.
Yeah, it's going to be a rough one today, ladies and gentlemen. I think we have three separate technical issues. Hunter, you joked maybe listening to the audio version, but hey, you might have some more fun, or just have some in the background, because we don't know how this is going to go. But no, it's been an interesting week, because there was one piece of news at the start of it that we are basing this entire podcast around, but not really much anything else. So has everyone kept themselves busy? Yeah, is that it? That's great podcast work, Hunter. Can you okay, oh yeah. We'll get to it. We'll get to Hades. Here's my copy. Oh wait, I don't have one.
If I had one.
If I had one. But no.
Evo's also been happening in the background.
Yeah.
Over the weekends.
Cool.
Last weekend and this one. This past one. It's also, Monday. It ended.
It ended. Oh no.
But not as we're recording this right now. Wow.
That's going to happen a lot. If you see me flickering in and out of existence, that's because my webcam keeps lagging and I don't know how to fix it. We'll fix it next week. But no, welcome back to the HGO podcast. As always, if you're watching on video, make sure to subscribe to us on the YouTube channel and leave a like. We do appreciate it. youtube.com/hotgamersonly if you're on audio and you want to check out the video version. Otherwise, we're on your favourite podcast services. Check them out in the link tree in the description below, or just go to linktree/hotgamersonly. And yeah, you can find us on your favourite podcast services and whatnot. Up this week, we are talking about Xenoblade 3, the big leak that happened, the quote-unquote leak that happened, that was so big a leak that the video clip went unnoticed on YouTube for 2 months, and the journalist that had the scoop was keeping a hold of it for months before that and just decided to let it go, and then finally decided to release it when someone else slipped up. So hey, we'll talk about Xenoblade 3, we'll talk about all of our hopes, our predictions, what we're expecting. And then we'll talk about games that we've been playing. Hades is finally out on the remaining platforms, so I'm sure we'll get to talking about that a little bit with Hunter. Both myself and Kyle have been playing Persona 3. We'll get into that. I've been playing something else, which is a bit of a surprise.
Take a guess who's had the better Tartarus experience.
Oh, yeah, definitely you.
Yeah, my Tartarus isn't that bad, to be honest.
Well, we'll get.
You get over it pretty quickly.
We'll get to it. We'll get to it. So there's plenty to talk about and plenty happening. Bit of housekeeping. We have some reviews going up real soon. Hunter's got a Chris Tales review, which will probably be up first. That'll probably be this week.
Yeah.
Ratchet 1's coming along. It should be the week after. It would probably also be done this week, but we're not going to flood you with 2 reviews that you won't watch. So we'll give you one.
That's fair.
Simple as that.
One review that you won't watch.
Yeah, we should. And, we might have the Mario thing go up as well, Cal, this week. Haven't talked to you about that.
Oh, nice.
Offline,
right.
But we might have that go up this week.
That.
Yeah, we probably should upload it. It's been sitting on private for a while. Cars on our end. But yeah, we've got lots happening and lots to talk about. So hey, make sure you keep up to date on Twitter and all that jazz if you want to keep up to date with everything that's happening. With all that spiel out of the way, let's just get down to it, the nitty and the gritty. Xenoblade 3, baby. We're going back down the rabbit hole. I thought that Season 2 would be a break from the Xenoblade talk. I thought, okay, we're going to keep the stupid Persona talk. We're going to keep the stupid fucking Devil May Cry stuff still in. Hades has made it back round for a second year in a row. I was like, at least we won't talk about Xenoblade until this clip of Jenna Coleman surfaced on the internet.
Didn't your second playthrough of Xenoblade 2 happen in Season 2?
This season?
Oh, true, actually.
Yeah.
But what can I say? I'm an industry insider and knew this all along. Big brain. I was playing it in preparation, guys. It was not a bit. In all seriousness, I have no fucking clue. But we're going to get into it. It started early it was like last week. We weren't going to bring it up. I think it had just started. It was either the Sunday after we recorded, because we usually record on a Saturday, or it had been on like the Friday or the Saturday, and Kyle had seen it and was like, whatever, we're not gonna bring it up.
Yeah,
we didn't think it'd be that big of a deal. But then I sent it in the group chat on Sunday because someone sent the clip, and Cal was like, yeah, I've seen it. And then I was like, yeah, but Imran Khan's tweeted about it, which means something's going down. Because as Hunter will know, because he also has watched a lot of kind of funny content in the past. Imran tends to know his shit when it comes to leaks and insider information. He's usually pretty good at it.
He's a very knowledgeable man.
Which triggered me when I saw all the Nintendo fans. Chugga Conroy, bless him, made a tweet about it where he was like, "Oh, don't believe leakers and stuff like that." And I'm like, Chugga, it's Imran Khan. You don't understand, Chugga Conroy. You look like an idiot. You look like an idiot. It's Imran Khan. He knows what he's talking about. So that happened. So I'm gonna read the article that Imran posted on Fanbyte. We're gonna start with that. I'm sorry, I'm gonna go Casper the Friendly Ghost on you, because their website does not have a dark mode. Criminal. But yeah, on August 9th, Imran released a piece called Xenoblade Voice Actress Implies a New Game is in the Works, which is true. So in June of this year, Xenoblade fan held a particularly significant interview with actress Jenna Coleman. Basically, the interview was published around 2 months ago. This guy must have bought like a cameo or like a print signing or some kind of like Comic-Con thing is what I assume it was, where it was like Jenna was doing a fan signing and he just got a slot. Was essentially what it was, because he has like 30 subscribers. He has less than us, and that's when you know it's low. That's when you know it's low.
That's true.
It's going even deeper.
Yo, how do we get Jenna on the show?
Yo, Jenna, hit us up. Please, we need guests. Please, anybody. We'll take anyone at this point. Jenna's
we'll
manager.
Just take the Hail Mary shot immediately.
Jenna's manager. Want to come on the show and talk about it? Let's talk. But yeah, essentially, he has 30 odd subscribers. He did this fan signing, and he talked to her about Xenoblade, which she seemed open to talk about, because I'm sure she does not get asked every day about Xenoblade. She probably gets too much shit about Doctor Who, and she was like, "Oh God, someone's asking me something that isn't Doctor Who or Victoria or whatever that other show she was in." So anyway, this is the quote that she said during this interview. God, when was the first game? 10 years ago? It was a long time ago. I did it pre-Doctor Who days, and when they did the second one, they asked me to come back. The second one, I assume she's talking about Future Connected.
Future Connected.
Yeah. And I think they're going to do another.
The actual second one.
Yeah. I think they're going to do another. Common paused. Common knowledge? Don't know. Yeah, I think they're going to do another. Not sure if I'm allowed to say that. Which, not sure if I'm allowed to say that, is those are the damning words. If she had said the exact rest of that passage, it wouldn't have been nothing. Because if not allowed to say it was the thing that I was like, okay, she said something she probably shouldn't have. Imran Khan goes on to write, Coleman's quote has caused rumours to stir over the weekend of a new Xenoblade Chronicles currently in development. According to our sources here, we can indeed confirm that to be the case. Moreover, the game is nearing its final stages of development, but its release date may be held back from a number of reasons. We'll talk about that, because I think it's believable because of how long it's been since Xenoblade 2 came out. But that's still crazy to think we're actually near this, probably. It might be like a June release, which is kind of crazy. Comes out before Breath of the Wild 2, who would have guessed? Genuinely would not have put that on my predictions card. Would you have guessed that? Would you have guessed that we got another Xenoblade before we got Breath of the Wild 2?
Probably.
Like back in 2017.
Okay, in 2017, no.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
I think that's what Ethan said.
Who was making these predictions back in 2017?
He was like, the sentiment behind that was like, yeah, of course you're going to see another Zelda before you see Xenoblade. Now I believe we're going to see in Mario Odyssey 2 before we're going to get Breath of the Wild 2 out. That's how I feel, because
we're getting a Mario and Rabbids 2 before Breath of the Wild 2.
We're going to get to it in a little bit, but the fact that 2022 is mirroring 2017 so much with its sequels is really interesting. We'll get into it a little bit later, but it's kind of crazy. Here's the key information that we're going to speculate and rumour about in a little bit. The third Xenoblade Chronicles game is in development by Monolith Soft and is a sequel to Xenoblade Chronicles 2, currently the best-selling game in the series. Suck it, nerds. The ending of the trilogy takes place in the far-flung future, with a few returning characters who have long outlived their human counterparts from both Xenoblade Chronicles and Xenoblade Chronicles 2. This is why Coleman, who plays Melia, would be aware of the third game, as her character is returning and she more than likely has recorded voice acting for it. According to Imran's sources, Xenoblade Chronicles 3 was set to be revealed earlier this year and may still be announced before the end of the calendar year, but has a difficult time with the pandemic development and optimizing the game for Switch. Fucking yikes. The game is aiming for more character models on screen at once than any previous title, accounting for both playable characters and enemies. Double fucking yikes. We'll get into it. This should have come as a galloping shock. Xenoblade DE expanded content was titled Future Connected. Should have seen it. However, I know, Kyle, you've played Future Connected. After hearing what Future Connected did, I still don't think that it was a surefire solution that this was what we were getting as Xenoblade 3, but hey, here we go. If all goes well, the game could be released as soon as the first half of next year, delayed from its original and now exceedingly unlikely winter 2021 target date. Imran Khan does put on the end that things can change and no in-development game should be considered as a guarantee to be exactly the same as described. Which is basically him saying, if I got something wrong, suck it, nerd. That's basically the technical terms for it. So, interesting. I'm going to bring the 2017 point up first with you guys, because I don't know if you guys have noticed how crazy this is, because obviously Breath of the Wild 2 is scheduled for 2022. Not fucking happening. But it's scheduled for 2022. So is Splatoon 3, supposedly Xenoblade 3, Mario Rabbids
2.
Yeah, I'm just talking about the Switch here. Mario Rabbids Kingdom Battle 2. All of these are sequels to 2017 games. The only things missing are Mario Odyssey and ARMS, and you have the full lineup of Switch's launch year coming back around for round 2 punching in 2022, which to me is crazy.
I can't wait to see ARMS at their next Direct.
I genuinely would love to see it. I think ARMS gets a bad rap, man. I loved ARMS. It was great fun. For what it was. I don't think they're going to do an ARMS 2, and if they do, I will be the first person cheering, because that'll be hilarious. If ARMS 2 happens at the next Direct, that basically means Odyssey 2 is also confirmed, because they're basically just doing 2017 again next year. That's basically confirmation. But I thought that was an interesting piece. Kyle, you are our go-to Xenoblade expert. You are the big weeb, as I am going to refer to you as from here on out. No longer the weeb wonder, just the big weeb.
Is that a promotion or?
Yes, congratulations. Your badge will be in the mail.
Oh, good.
He sounds like he's at like the
I get a badge now.
Dorky mafia family.
I feel like me and you should just be like this at the entire time now that he's talking. Just
no.
the big weeb. But anyway, what I was trying to get at was, Kyle, you're obviously the biggest Xenoblade fan out of all of us. I really love 2. Hunter really likes 1 and 2. He's played both of them.
Yeah. I don't like it. I don't like either of them nearly as much as you guys. But, you know.
Anyway.
Hey, man. I like the whole franchise.
So
I don't discriminate.
So, you saw the Jenna Coleman thing before all of us. You did a good thing, which was not tell us and just was like, she probably misspoke and she didn't mean what she said. Until this. So here comes this report on Monday. What are your initial reactions to reading it?
I'm not putting much stock into anything yet.
Okay.
Like, I don't mean to be that guy, but like I've been around the internet way too long. I've been around communities way too long, and I just don't. Until I see something, I'm not believing it. Yeah.
I would if it wasn't Imran. That's my thing.
I don't know who that is, so I don't really care.
He's a big leaker, and he's not even guessed like obvious stuff like Horizon. He was the guy that leaked the stupid Final Fantasy Origins game with "I'm gonna kill Chaos" guy. He leaked that like 2 months before
Craig's
announcement.
Adventure in Final Fantasy Land.
Mm-hmm. He leaked that like 2.5 months before it got announced, and I'm like, you don't make that shit up. He knows what he's talking about. I agree that you should always take things with a bit of skepticism. Like you said, story beats can change. I think it's interesting. Yeah. To me, the interesting thing is I'm surprised that it's a continuation. That's the thing that got me.
That's my other thing, yeah. The other reason why I'm kind of down on this leak is because, like, as a Xeno fan, all of it just sounds way too good to be true.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, follow-up story to 2, featuring characters from 1 and 2 coming back in the future? Like, come on. This is what every fan wants. It's not going to be that obvious.
Honestly, it sounds like a spin-off.
Honestly.
Like a game.
That sounds like that Xenoblade Warriors game everyone wants.
Yeah, exactly. I'm good. I'm genuinely good. I don't want to play another
one of those.
I don't want to play another Musu game. Like, no, I'm good. I do feel like it's too good to be true, but the more I think about it, the more I'm like, it's an interesting idea because it's not just a straight sequel. I think like most people were expecting, if they were to do a straight sequel, it would just be straight up, every character's there, they're all there, they'll do this weird crossover between 1 and 2 where Shulk and Rex are fighting together and they have this big culmination. But from the sounds of it, it isn't that. And I think it's going to be a much more interesting game. I was saying to Hunter, I was like, this is going to be the most depressing video game of all time.
Yeah, and that's why I'm here for it.
I
like this one the most.
I'm 100% in, because seeing Melia deal with all of the characters from Xenoblade 1 passing, because none of them will survive other than her, really.
Pour one out for Dunban.
Maybe Ricky.
Yeah, what's the lifespan?
I don't know how Noppon's age.
I don't know how long Noppon's lived for either.
I mean, he's 40 in Xenoblade 1. So
okay, yeah, he's not getting far. He's not getting far into this. Yeah,
either Ricky or his kids, like
that's the
from
thing.
Future Connected.
Ricky, someone said, who is just like Ricky.
Someone said, and I don't remember where it was. It was either on Twitter or I saw something, and it was like Melia fucking Shulk's kid just to get back at him, and I was like, this is the dumbest fucking meme ever. But it's
that's amazing.
Like, could you imagine like them being like, we know we did Melia dirty, so here we go, we'll do it properly this time. But like, no, not forgiven. But I thought that's interesting. But the thing to me, which will be the most interesting, is Melia. I think will still be Melia. That's the thing. Is I'm really interested, because we're going to talk, who else can possibly survive? Because obviously you'll have Blades, but most of them will have forgotten their memories of whatever's happened, right? At least we assume. I'm interested.
Yeah, that's how Blades work.
Yeah,
when their driver dies, they go back to their core and they lose their memories.
Yeah, exactly.
Bye, monkey.
Bye,
monkey.
Bye, memory.
Except Bridget, who kept the diary.
Yeah.
Like a smarty smart.
Yeah, and I do wonder if the Aegis will basically keep up with Bridget and all those people. So I mean, there's at least a tiny bit.
That's the other thing. Because
I'm really interested.
I'm sorry that I keep bringing up lore, but it's like
go for it.
At the end of Xenoblade 2, Pyra and Mithra go back to their core crystal, and then Rex gets it.
Yeah.
So we don't know what comes after that. We don't know if they lost their memory from that or not. So that'll be interesting to see. Because prior to that, the only reason Pyra was able to keep her memories was because she was in sleep. She never went back to her core crystal during the Torna events. So,
yeah. Well, it's also because the Aegis, the only reason that they would return to their core crystal is if they were severely wounded and damaged, right? Like, that was the whole thing, is Adam dying does not kill Mithra, right? That's not how that works, is it? Because Malos did not die when Amalthus died. So the assumption is that you only need someone to awaken the Aegis's core and they continue to survive post
maybe
the driver's
death. I was gonna say, I was under the impression that the Aegis was special, and
that's what I was under the assumption of. Yeah, that's what I was under the assumption of. Is once they were activated, Because then you've also got the whole question of what's his name from Xenoblade 1, who was the third Aegis in the end?
Alvis.
Who was his driver and who's alive, and why would they be alive still? That's like the whole kind of thing, right? Is I assume.
See, we don't actually know Alvis's driver because in Xenoblade 1 original on the Wii, he did not have that core crystal.
Yeah, it was something they added.
He was just a dude with a key necklace.
It was something they added. My assumption was you needed a driver to awaken the crystal, but as soon as the Aegis was awakened, they die by themselves, right? Because the only reason Pyra, if they took too much damage or whatever, that's when they would die. Because the only reason Pyra was being injured was because she had given half her core to Rex, and they were sharing the same damage, right? So as far as I was concerned, the Aegis lives on once their driver's gone, is what I was essentially. Because they have this whole thing of, during the entirety of Xenoblade 2, and we're going to go very in-depth and very nerdy with this, because this is basically what we're going to do.
You need a high IQ to understand Xenoblade lore. Buckle in, folks. You're about to get your PhD in Xenoblade storytelling.
Replaying Xenoblade 2 recently, there's a lot of these conversations of blades not getting to keep their memories, and Pyra and Mithra always seem to be the exception to that rule, as if the other blades look at them as if they're jealous. Bridget always has this conversation where she's like, "You get to remember and I don't," which to me has always been like has always implied that the Aegis outlives the driver. In my opinion. And I hope that is what it is, because I would really love to see what the fuck happens to Pyra and Mithra after all their friends are dead. Because that is...
Dude, it'd be cool if they went crazy and snapped.
My super fan theory right now would be like they'd like fucking snapped. That would be my crazy fan theory, is not necessarily they're the villains of the game or whatever, but they have just like kind of like the anti-hero Red Hood, kind of don't give a shit anymore about life or whatever, just want to get the job done.
That would work too. Either way, it'd be interesting.
And I don't see why they bring back the Aegis with another driver for no reason. Like, my whole idea, as I've pictured this week, my whole like vision of this is you have a Pyra and Mithra who are completely changed people who are done because they've lost Rex, they've lost Nia, they've lost everybody, right? Everyone's gone. Maybe Poppy's still around. Maybe has Poppy, because Poppy will probably still have a memory. She's a robot, so probably still around. But this is what I'm picturing. This is why I think it's going to be, because I'm picturing the flashbacks. I think we will see Rex. I think we will see Shulk. I think we'll see all of them. I think we'll see how they die.
Yeah.
I think we'll see them. I think we'll see how they die and how that affects the characters. That's what I'm hoping for. Sick as fuck, but that's what I'm...
Oh man, seeing Zeke die is gonna be so sad.
There was something I saw on Reddit the other day that was like, Rex got some new drip in Xenoblade 3, and it's just a picture of the fucking tombstone in font set.
Oh, it's amazing. So, wait, what's the deal with, like, Xenoblade 2? It had those blades that would, like, kill their driver or whatever. Or
Blade Eaters.
That.
Flesh Eaters and Blade Eaters.
What's the deal with their lifespan? Because isn't Nia one of those?
Nia, for all we know, Nia could very much... It depends, like I said, the description Imran gives is so generic, where it could be 100 years in the future, it could be 1,000, right? It could be... It's implied that it's a while, but he just says so that the rest of the characters are dead. That to me could mean any time, right? It's like...
Yeah.
It could be any period between 100 and 1,000 years. I guess the best guess we have is the guy that runs the theater in Xenoblade 2.
Cole Menoth, yeah.
Yeah, because he was Amalthus's...
He was Amalthus's blade.
He was Amalthus's blade, and he was experimented on back when they were, like, when he was fully doing experiments. So he could have lived... My assumption is that they live for longer than humans, but who knows?
Yeah, they do. They would eventually die, because they age.
Yeah.
Which you can see that in how Menoth is in Torna compared to how he is in base Xenoblade 2.
Is he just a blade in Torna, or is he still
he's
eater?
He's a flesh eater.
So then he survived. So he survived 500 years, right?
Yeah.
So I see Nia as 100% a possibility then of who survives. Yeah. I can 100%. That'd be a really awkward conversation. Could you imagine that? Can you imagine if Pyra and Mithra were like, you still butthurt about us stealing the guy you liked 500 years ago?
She could be best friends with Melia, though.
Dude, they can go be sad together. Hell yeah.
Yeah. I am really, like... He says it's a sequel to Xenoblade 2, which to me says... I don't know, like, where is this set? Do you think this is set in Allrest? Because Allrest is now one big continent, so it would be... It'd be a... To me, that suggests that it's more likely there than it is... Because Future Connected World, like, it's just... Isn't that just the Titan, like, in, like, falling over?
That's just the Bionis' shoulder.
It's just the... Yeah. Isn't it just the... They're still on the Bionis, right? It's not...
Yeah.
It's not altered in any way. So I doubt that they'll just use the Xenoblade 1 world again.
It's just the Bionis shoulder and, like, a broken down Alchemoth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I don't know. My assumption is that the world that we're exploring, they talk about how it's like the biggest project they've ever done or whatever. They're trying to make it this big thing. I assume it's all rest as a continent. That'd be my guess about it. That's probably where it's
unless like somehow the worlds like merge together.
Maybe
after the initial split from the conduit incident, but
who knows?
All we can do is just speculate on what this game could be.
Yeah, the one thing, like honestly, I want this story to happen because one, I just want a really sad time. I just want to watch all the characters that I like die. Like they just like it just like I'm honestly, but like I said, like you say, Kyle, it's always good to keep it reeled in because expectations versus reality, right? I don't want to get into this whole thing where I'm expecting a game where Pyra and Mithra have gone fucking
AWOL.
Basically gone AWOL, said fuck the world because Rex is dead, and they're doing their own shit, and then all this other stuff. When in reality, it's just going to be everyone has happy, skippy, fun times, and Rex has travelled into the future, and I'm like, no, what is this shit? No.
This isn't sad enough.
Yeah. It's good to keep your expectations in check, though.
But at the same time, Xenoblade 3, Game of the Year, can't wait. I'm buying the special edition this time.
Like those people who are still following the abandoned news.
We're not even going to talk about that. We're not even talking about. I mean, we can if we have enough time to shit on some fanboys. But
it's so silly.
Let's get back on Xenoblade track for just a little bit longer. My first question is, let's talk about the concerns. Obviously, apparently it's not very well optimized for Switch, which, if that's anything like Xenoblade 2, God help us, because that game is also not very well optimized for Switch, especially not in handheld.
Xenoblade 2 ran fine.
No, it didn't. Right.
That game ran perfectly fine.
One thing I will say about Xenoblade 2, and I think people give it a lot of flack, because people always talk about how shit the resolution is on Xenoblade 2. They always go, oh, it's 720p and docked. It looks like blurry, and I'm like, yeah, but they did so much good work. Like they did such good work with the visuals and the world style.
These people didn't have the definitive edition of the first game before this, so they were coming at it from like a Xenoblade 1 Wii high horse, where their graphics were not great.
Where all the faces look like this, like.
Yeah, it looked like those paper masks that you see people like print out of people's faces and just put over themselves as a
headband. Exactly. Like those awful like fucking paper masks people wear for Halloween. Yeah, garbage shit. But no, like obviously that's my one thing I'm kind of worried about when they say that they're trying to put as many characters on screen as possible and they're trying to be super ambitious. Is Xenoblade 2 looks great, and I have no doubt the art style is going to be beautiful and it's going to look as great. Especially now, because we're getting the whole trilogy in the same art style because they redid 1, which makes a lot of sense now that they're doing Xenoblade 3. We've all been wondering, why have you fucking done another remaster of this game? Like, you did the 3DS port, why now the Switch? Now we know.
Get the whole book on one console.
Get the whole book on one console. Yeah, instead of 3 discs,
it's just like Xenosaga.
Yeah, it's great. But I am a bit concerned about the frame rate. That's my one thing that I'm like, I don't know, Kyle. How do you feel? I know you big Xenoblade fan. You don't care as much about the performance. Big. Look forward to big Weeb merch coming with the first HGO drop. Can you imagine that? That'd be great. I'm looking forward to it. But you know, I feel like you're forgiving on the performance of Xenoblade because you like the games, right? And Hunter's apparently blind to frame rate, as we've discussed many times before. But
the worst issue I have ever noticed with Xenoblade 2 is just like when you fast travel to places that are out in like different continents, there's like weird pop-in shit and textures don't load, and like that's like the worst thing I've noticed.
Yeah,
through many playthroughs of the games.
The one thing that I dislike about 2 is it's not necessarily the frame rate doesn't necessarily dip. It's the fact that it's not the game dipping that's the problem. It's Xenoblade 2, the way that its frame rate works is if the frame rate drops, it's just the game slows down. It's not necessarily it's skipping frames. Have you ever had it where you're running through a town and you feel like you're running a bit slower than you would usually? That's because it's the frame rate's going down a bit and it kind of slugs. But in combat, for the most part, it feels fine enough.
Yeah.
But and I should very much specify that with Torna, they fixed a lot of the problems with the streaming and with the frame rate. And with Definitive Edition, I think they also fixed a lot of the problems. I think that game runs really well on Switch for the most part. So I'm hopeful, but also Monolith getting ambitious. I'm like, oh no, please, can we at least have at least a decent frame rate? Don't go to 15 frames and just have like everyone running about. I don't know.
While Monolith Soft getting ambitious, I'm like, oh yes, I'm ready for whatever you have for me, Monolith Soft. I'm ready for Tetsuya Takahashi's wild ride.
I can't wait. Honestly, I can't wait. I'm hoping. I don't know, Hunter. We'll ask you. You've been relatively quiet. I mentioned Darkness, and you were instantly intrigued. You were like instantly peaked up. You were like, "Yes, I'm here." So what?
Yeah.
For you, as a person that just likes Xenoblade 1 and 2, and will probably play Xenoblade 3, what are your hopes? What do you want to see out of it? Do you want to see a darker story? Do you want to see them do something that's a little bit more?
Yeah. If it's a darker story, I could easily see that being my favorite one, just because it's the kind of stuff I enjoy. I maybe should have phrased that in a way that sounded a little less psychotic.
Just want to see Rex die. Is that too much to ask?
But yeah, so a darker story would be cool. Aside from that, like if it was a similar story to the other two, that'd be fine too. I'd still play it and enjoy it.
Oh, and I should specify, I'm not expecting like this really dark, seedy like story of just full on depression. I think it'll have its sad moments, and I think it'll have those. Like I say, I think the best way that they could do
I want every side quest giver to kill themselves like a Nier Automata.
Oh exactly.
No! Then I'll do the side quests.
That's the bread lady.
Oh, that's one thing. One thing, please, Monolith Star. If you're going to be more ambitious with your side quests. Don't have them be.
Yeah, make them actually feel like they mean something, please. That'd be nice.
I would love like 24 like really well crafted story pieces of side quest that actually have purpose and meaning and change the characters in a way. Than 150 fucking go collect seeds in the woods, fucker. I want seeds.
150 things that I won't do. Yeah, if they could make the side quests more meaningful. And I'm sure that the other games had them, but also I wasn't going to sort through the ones that mattered at the point of,
I did a lot of them in my second playthrough, and I think there are a lot.
Xenoblade 2's blade quests are really, really good.
For the most part.
Was that dependent on doing your silly little blade rolls, though?
Yeah.
Yeah, that explains why I never saw those.
It depends on a lot of things, like pulling the blades in the first place, and then like being in certain points in the story and going to X locations. Shit you'd never possibly figure out on purpose.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's that. I guess I could hope for the gacha system to be gone. Or I guess it didn't really hurt me anyway, since I didn't play it, but
Yeah.
But if they would devote that to some mechanic that's more interesting, that'd be cool. I don't know.
Yeah.
In both of the games, I didn't really find the combat that engaging, so if it could feel like a little bit less of a chore, that'd be nice.
That's what I was going to ask for you, Kyle. Obviously, you've played all three, including the standalone Torna, because it has a different combat system. What are you expecting? Are you expecting a completely new... Are they going to do third time's the charm, a completely new battle system again? Or do you think they're going to stick to what they've done in the past with 2 and Torna, or even go back to the original? I doubt that they're going to go back to the original, but
they're not going back to the original.
I fucking hope they don't.
They're going to do the original plus the future connected thing, where it attaches your whatever to the stupid Nopons.
Those Nopons better be dead, by the way, in future connected. I hated them. They better not.
The Pawn Spectres can go fuck themselves.
Yeah,
they tied your team attack to
your chain attack. Yeah.
God,
that feature was just gone. It was the dumbest shit ever.
It was pretty bad.
I played for 15 more minutes before I decided that I wasn't going to do future connected.
Go team.
So anyway, Kyle, what are you expecting from combat? Are you expecting a brand new iteration, a brand new thing?
I do think they're going to do something different. But because people were very lukewarm to downright pissed about Xenoblade 2's combat, even though I think it's some of the best in the series, just with how streamlined everything is.
I like it more than once.
It's a really good combat system, guys. The game just does a bad job explaining it.
But it does with everything. But I think it'll be a new combat system as well, not only just because numbered entry usually means they're going to do something different. If there is going to be this Worlds Collide thing, I don't think they're going to do what they did with the DLC, where it's like, oh yeah, Shulk, I guess that makes us blades in your world. And then they're just all like, I don't think that's how that's going to work. I think it's just going to... I think they're going to do some kind of new system. Probably, if they're... It is, like I say, it's so interesting, because it's like, it could be we're following this whole new set of characters, and like the characters that we knew, like Melia and Pyra and Mithra, are going to be side characters that show up during the story. It could be that we are playing as Melia and this new group of people that are trying to sort this calamity that's happening in the future. Who knows what's happening? So it's going to be interesting, but either way, I feel like
that is the really cool thing, because like, so there's this thing from way back in the days called Xenogears: The Perfect Works. It was basically like an art book that came with the game, that didn't come with the game, but it was just like promotional stuff. And in it had a timeline of like the 6-episode plan that Takahashi had for Xenogears before Square Enix decided, or just Square said, bye Takahashi, we don't care about your project, but thanks for the IP.
And now we'll never use it.
We'll never use it, other than to make figures. I digress. I'm still mad at Square for that. And that game came out in 98.
Be grateful that Nintendo is giving them a trilogy, and at least, you know? Be grateful.
Oh, yeah.
We're getting something.
But anyways...
You should be grateful.
You should be grateful, you little bitch. You're the big weeb, now grow up.
What a sentence.
Yeah, The Perfect Works, it had like the 6-episode timeline where basically Xenogears was episode 5. Everything before that was like backstory shit from like 1,000 years into the past. And then episode 6 is like the future. And that's basically been Takahashi's blueprint for making both Xenosaga and Xenoblade. So it's interesting because like no Xeno game has gotten to episode 6 yet. Basically just like the beyond episode 5 being like Xenoblade 1, 2, the Saga trilogy. Other than like Future Connected is the closest we've gotten to seeing what's after.
And that was like not even that. Wasn't even that
that's like pushing
after?
It.
Like it wasn't even that far.
It's a year after.
Yeah.
So it's just really cool to finally get to this episode 6. Well, at least I hope episode 6 in the timeline.
Yeah.
It's
gonna be fun.
That was a very rough abridged telling of The Perfect Works. There's other YouTubers who have explained it better than that, but y'all can go look that up on your own time if you want.
No, I mean,
this Tetsuya guy. He has a plan, unlike the other one.
He has too much of a plan, Hunter. That's why he never finishes anything.
It is interesting though, because it's like from the ending of 2, they could have very easily gone in 2 ways. Like either, and this is what I believe that their plan always was, if they did a third one, this was what they were planning on doing, is that this rumored third Xenoblade game. But we've also had this discussion before where we could have seen Xenoblade 3 very much be its own thing again, with a whole new set of characters and a whole new world, and they just keep doing it like that.
Yeah,
so I do think
that's what I thought it was going to be.
Same, to be honest. I did not think that we would be seeing characters again, especially after Definitive Edition as well. I definitely didn't think we'd be seeing characters like Melia again, or the Aegis or anything like that. It will be like that's the one thing that I'm gonna love about it, and it's gonna be like that royal moment because I'm caught up. Right, it is gonna be one of those things where you see characters that you know, or you see things happen, and obviously if they're new to the franchise, it's still gonna be great. Like how people like responded to the ending of Xenoblade 2 if they hadn't played Xenoblade 1 like I did. But it is gonna be one of those moments where if Melia shows up, if the Aegis shows up, you're gonna have those moments where you're like, oh shit, like, and then they'll, like, I just can't wait for stuff like that.
Honestly, like, I can't wait to play this game if all the rumors are to be believed. Just like all my Xenoblade, like, one of my favorite things was playing Xenoblade 2 blind for the first time. I knew nothing about the game, and then when that first cutscene in Chapter 10 played, and it was like, oh, this is just a remastered cutscene of this big important scene from Xenoblade 1. By the way, these games are connected. I was just in my chair just losing my shit.
See, my reaction was, oh shit, that's Shulk's voice actor. This must be important.
I was like, cool.
That's what I was like. I was like, that's Shulk. I'm like, what? I'm like, is that Shulk? I'm like, definitely connected. I have no clue what it is, but... And hey, if the rumors are true, we might not have to wait that long. We might... This time next year, we might have already played it, which is crazy to think. We might have already played it. We'll see. Hopefully, if Nintendo has its usual September Direct, we might actually hear about it.
Yeah.
That'd be my guess. They love showing things that come out in 2022 and their directs so far. They showed Splatoon 3 for 2022 in January, so I'm sure they're not afraid of showing Xenoblade. But no, I think we've covered everything. I think that was a good Xenoblade talk. Come back next time for more Xenoblade talk, which will either be in a month or in a year. We'll see. It won't be a year.
The game is out tomorrow.
I guess we'll talk about
Shadow Drop.
Oh, that would be bananas.
It'd be
crazy.
Yeah, it'd be a little silly.
Hey, it also, everything adds up, man. The Pyro and Mithra getting into Smash Bros as well, continuing that shit. It's all happening. Yeah. But hey, Nintendo's got a good year next year, man. Like, even
oh yeah,
like, God, fucking, even if they don't have Breath of the Wild 2, like this year, everyone was like, if they don't have Breath of the Wild 2, it's going to be a bit of a meh year, and it has been for Nintendo. A bit of a meh year.
They've got stuff coming at the
They've
end.
had stuff, but
it's all at the end, though. But...
And it's all bits and pieces, right? It's like Mario Party and Metroid, which...
Advanced Wars.
Which
it's
Metroid
all like
and
small
Advanced
shit.
Wars are very niche, like, kind of markets. And Mario Party will be fun, but it's not like that thing where it's like, yes, the next installment. Like, we're all just getting it so we can hate each other.
Hell yeah.
Anyone for Ludo?
Exactly.
1v1 me in Spaceland,
but
Ethan.
No, like, okay. But no, next year, man, Xenoblade 3, maybe Breath of the Wild 2. Like I say, Mario Rabbids is getting a sequel, Splatoon 3 is getting a sequel. Project Triangle Strategy.
Project Triangle Tragedy, yes! Yep.
So much to come. So, hey, if everyone else has a shit year, at least Nintendo will be vibing next year.
Yeah, they will.
While PlayStation fans finally get Horizon and will not get God of War. Anyway.
And maybe they'll get a PS5 also. Who knows?
Trust me, guys, you don't need one. I just play PS4
You really
games
don't.
I just play PS4 games on it anyway. And trust
me... all
the
PS5 games are getting put on the PS4.
Yeah. And trust me, when I buy an Xbox, I'll say the exact same thing about that. It's fine. Don't worry about it. It'll be like, yeah, you can just own an Xbox One, but no one owned an Xbox One, so maybe a Series X is more worth it then, because no one owned the Xbox One.
That's true.
Who knows? Anyway, that's enough Xenoblade talk. That's enough Nintendo talk. We are going to move on to talk about what we've been up to. So, hey, if you were here for the Xenoblade, thank you for stopping by. And hey, leave a like on the way out. We'd appreciate it. We're going to do what we usually do, where we talk about what we've played. We've played quite a bit. So, where do we start? That I do not like how you both have copies of Hades pointing at me. I feel like it's like a threat. Do we start with that real quick?
Hey, I just did this as a joke. Yeah. It's gonna be gone next week.
Yeah. Let's talk about it then quickly, Hunter. You were good. You let me and Cal nerd out about Xenoblade for a bit, so we will let you give Supergiant another shout out and talk about the next gen version of Hades coming out. So, You've been playing Hades again.
I did. I got it on the shiny reflective foil thing that's probably not coming off super well.
It does come off on camera.
Oh,
actually.
does it?
It does look
cool.
reflective. Yeah.
It's been real fun to start this game fresh again.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little challenge to see how far I've been getting compared to where I got the first time. I got to the first boss in my second attempt. That was nice. I beat the final boss in under 20. That's also nice.
Nice.
I beat the final boss in under 20 the first time, not for the last time, I should specify.
Okay. Right. Anyway, so next gen, obviously you've been playing it on PS5.
I have.
Which is available for a very reasonable price. It's only like $25, isn't it? It's £20.
Yeah, 25 digitally, and then like you get like a $5 disc tax.
Yeah, here it's £20 digital. If you want to get it physical, it's supposed to be 25. But there's a website in the UK called Shop2, which I always recommend if you want cheaper games because they do have discounts. You can get it for like 22 quid. So if you want to pay just £2 extra to have a PS5 game, which if you have a PS5, you might want to do that so you feel like you've justified the fucking box. Go for it. Kyle,
put something on the shelf.
Yeah, Kyle, interestingly, you picked the Switch version. Was there a reason for that?
Yeah, it was the only one available at the store.
Nice. Where did you go?
So, Best Buy.
Oh, nice.
I had gone out to get headphones.
What are those? Fuck Hades. What are they?
It's just like a pair of wireless headphones. Basically, they go around your neck, and then
I got a pair of those.
They'd go in your ears. I have headphones in my ears, so I can't put these in my ears.
Yeah, how much were they? Let's just do a review of them. They didn't give me a free copy for Hades, so...
You're not going to get a free copy of these either.
Haven't tried. Shit. Haven't tried. We can try. How much were they anyway? Are they good?
They're pretty nice.
Wow.
I haven't really gotten to use them yet because they've been charging all day.
Ah, nice.
But they fit. They're comfy. I like them. I enjoy them.
On a tangent, I've been meaning to buy like a pair of headphones because like I don't know about you guys. When I like playing video games, like especially story games, I don't know why. I just like having the audio in my head. Like I don't like the TV noise. I like just being immersed, right? And for a while now, I've just been having like shitty fucking regular like 20, 30, like $40, $50 headphone sets. I'm like, I've been thinking, should I invest in some like wireless ones, some nice ones that don't sound as shit? But I've got a bit of hunter in me where I'm also like, but I can just buy headset and it works.
Ethan, okay, so I use earphones when I have the AC on because it's less obnoxious than turning my TV.
It must be nice to have AC in your fangled country.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry our windows are better. Anyway.
You got me again!
Anyway, it's just easier than turning my TV up to an obnoxious level. But I also only use these. I don't like get a special headset. It's just so I can hear it. I don't really...
Ethan,
I don't need to feel the enemy footsteps pulsing in my brain. I just need to hear them.
If it was up to me, Ethan, I wouldn't have had to buy those wireless headphones at all. It's just my phone. I got a new phone like a couple 3 weeks ago, and it doesn't have a headphone jack.
Oh, nice, dude. Rise up, gamers. Rise up.
No.
It's dumb as shit.
Yeah, but at least you have an Android, right? So you have like USB-C. Yeah. I'm still living in peasant iPhone land where we have fucking lightning cable still. And it's
no, not the communist Apple stuff.
USB.
Yeah.
The funny thing is I have like a Bluetooth set of earphones too, but I use those for work. I need them so my hair hides the fact that I'm wearing them. So I just listen to music at work.
These headphones that I'm wearing are like super cheap. They're not like that expensive, but they're really good audio quality, and I've had them for ages. So I don't mind not having Bluetooth headphones. Like I don't mind having it plugged into my phone. But it's like mainly for consoles. It's like I have this big headset on, and it's not bad whatsoever. But it's like it's not great, and I'm like it would probably sound better, and it'd probably be a lot more comfy if I had a good set of headphones. But it's also that whole thing where it's like, why spend $150 on a headset that'll last you a couple of years when I can keep spending $50 on a headset that'll last me 8 months that I keep rebuying because like it'll die. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, that's why I don't buy like high cost things. I buy like these come in a 3-pack that I get for like $9.
Yes, yes, but
we
know how
they last. And they last for like months at a time per pair.
We know how frugal you are, Hunter. It's like we know.
I also want to point out, because Hunter moved his webcam, we can actually see his microphone now.
You can see his microphone. Yeah, look.
It pops up in frame pretty often, actually.
That is his... Yeah, if you're wondering, yes, on episode 73 of a podcast, is Hunter really using that thing as a microphone? Yes, he is.
It's true.
Maybe in year 3 he'll upgrade. Anyway, so something about
I was
Hades.
at Best Buy getting headphones, and I was just, after I found these headphones, I'm like, let's just meander around the store. Let's see what I can find. And I found this lone little boy sitting in a shelf all by himself, and I'm like, if Hunter knew that I just walked past this, he would never forgive me. It was discounted, and I'm like, you know what? You're already spending money. Why not spend a shit ton of money today?
Why not?
So I got headphones and Hades is gonna sit on my shelf until I beat Persona 3.
Yeah, we'll get to Persona 3 in a second, but I feel like we should do our due diligence and ask Hunter, are there any next-gen features of this game other than...
How's the haptic feedback?
Yeah, how's the haptic feedback?
Dude,
how are the triggers?
When you pet Cerberus, the button vibrates to match his little dog thing.
Hang on. If we're talking about ray tracing, I need to get my fucking sunglasses on because I can't handle the rays, dude. There we go. Okay.
No, there's no ray tracing in this game because game has hand-drawn graphics and it looks cooler than a lot of other games.
You made me got the terrible cheap sunglasses that I bought for memes out for nothing, Hunter. God damn it.
I didn't bring up ray tracing. Kyle said it.
Kyle, you got me excited for rays. Yeah,
hey, I was just going to say my favorite buzzwords.
But I assume that it is because it's an indie game and it's got this 2D art style. I'm sure it's got all of those great features like all the nerds like the 4Ks and the 60 frames of something or whatever. That's what it's frames per something. That's what it stands.
No, it's 8K now, Ethan.
8K.
Come on.
The PS5 box does say 8K on it, and I'm like, you liars! We're barely getting 4K here.
I'm sure that's all there if my TV was, the cutting edge.
Do you know what, Hunter? You tell us what you think the differences are. And
anyway, visually it looks pretty similar. Like I was saying before, when you push the button to pet Cerberus, it vibrates in response, so that's cool. That made me happier than any reason than I should have been reasonably.
No, I get it.
There's a similar feature when you use the fishing rod, it will buzz, and that might have been a thing on the Switch. And then I just don't have Rumble in my controller. I don't know. But
having a look here, I'm stealing this from PlayStation Lifestyle. Apparently, the PS4 version of the game is 1080p, 60 frames per second. So there you go. You get your 60 frames on PS4. So this pillow of a console is pointless. Yeah. The PS5 version is 4K at 60 FPS. There you go. You get all the Ks, apparently, all 4 of them.
But
it's going to be great.
8 of them, Ethan.
You want 8 of them? Well, get an
the
Xbox Series X.
I can get
the power of the X.
If you get two 4K TVs and play them both at once.
Oh shit, you right.
If you get the Xbox fridge, then you can have a 4K, an 8K experience probably. But no, we've mentioned it time and time again on this podcast. You think Hades is great. I'm sure we all think that Hades is great when we eventually
best game I played last year and best game I've played this year.
Yeah, I was like, you're doing 20. I'm like, 2020 was a good year. It's not hard to say it's best game of this year, really, is it? It's like, there's been some good ones, don't get me wrong, like Ratchet and Returnal, but there hasn't really been as many big hitters as last year. It felt like last year was the year that kept on giving. It was
I made a joke earlier in the week when I was looking at Open Critics. Like, it's funny that Hades is getting reviews now, and it's automatically the reviews again, so it's automatically the highest thing, like in any proximity on their recently reviewed thing.
Hell yeah, but no. I assume you continue to recommend this game.
I do, and I will until I am dead.
There you go. Okay. There you go.
I'm just imagining Hunter in like a nursing home talking to the person taking care of him. Did you ever play Hades?
It was made by the people who made Transistor. You should also play that.
Okay, Grandpa. Whatever you say.
Yeah, exactly. But no, glad to hear that Hades is everywhere. No one has an excuse to not buy it. I will get it eventually. Ethan? I will get it eventually. I will buy a copy.
Say the word. I'll swim over there.
No.
Deliver it.
I'll buy my own copy. I have money. I'll buy my own copy. I'm just not buying it yet. I I feel like I should because I don't want the physical to sell out or whatever, and then me not be able to get a physical.
Well,
copy,
it's not like a limited run. This is like showing up on store shelves.
You see, it is in the US. I don't know if it is in the UK. That's the only difference. Is I don't know if it is in
weird.
the UK or if it's online only.
It's annoying.
I don't know. Either way, I'll probably get it this week. Probably. I'm not going to play it this week because I'm still trying to.
I can't wait till a year from now when I finally get to be talking about it with people who have played the game.
It'll be quicker than that. It's my game.
2022 year of the backlog.
It's my game after Persona 3 if Life is Strange isn't out before.
Hey, say.
Too.
Book club. There we go.
Well, the next game on my docket is Chris Tales, and I'm like, I don't want to do 2 RPGs back to back, no matter how good Hunter says Chris Tales is. We'll see how good this one is. And then see if I wasted $40 on Chris Tales.
Exactly.
I didn't. I know I didn't.
Yeah. I mean, and hey, if you're wondering whether you should buy it or not, then look forward to Friday or whenever we upload it. No, me now.
And if you think you should buy Hades, we have a review of that too.
Yeah, and that one is already biased and full of Hunter opinions, so you can go and definitely check that one out.
Formed right after I played it.
Yeah.
It's not like
Ethan, we should make our own. We should make our own review after we beat it.
It's not like I just said this game is really good for 7 minutes. I explained why it's good.
I hope you would for a review. Can you imagine if we started uploading reviews where it's just me going, it's good, innit? Yeah.
In it.
Like, what? Proper British, innit? Oh, well, good that was. Bloody hell, governor. That's fucking brilliant, that was. Oh, boy, oh, boy, oh, boy. We're going to end with Persona talk, Kyle, because we talked about Persona a bit last week, and I have some opinions on Persona. So.
Very cool.
We're going to talk about what I bought, and I was going to post a very hot photo of this on Twitter, but I didn't. Because I couldn't take the photo myself, and there was no way in hell I was allowing my family members to take a photo of me like that, because I was like, that was going to be awkward. You'll never know what the photo is unless I decide
Hunter,
to do it.
I'm scared.
But no.
Did we get to see
as you know, guys, I am a buff boy. If Kyle's a big weeb, I'm a buff boy. And,
absolutely.
Yes.
I decided
that's exactly how I would.
I've already got a 12-pack. I've already got abs for days. I've already got thighs.
I think I know where this is going.
But I'm already fit, but I need to be fit. And. Nintendo has me covered with the Ring Fit Adventure. It has me squatting. It has me fucking drop kicking shit. I bought Ring Fit Adventure.
My favorite exercise, the drop kick.
Hey man, if I would exercise more if it was something that people asked me to do was drop kick stuff.
It's like pushing on the thing. Pull it, drop kick child. I'm like, okay, twist Nintendo.
Bop it.
But no, I bought Ring Fit Adventure. I realised that my lighting, there you go. Wow. It does come with a game. Should have mentioned that.
It does?
It does.
And I thought you just got a Frisbee.
I thought the ring was
I can't.
This is the game.
This is the game. But one thing I will show you that's very weird, and this is very triggering for my not OCD that I like to say, but the case is different. Like usual Switch cases, they have like this little hole here and it kind of clicks open nicely and it's nice and whatever.
Correctamundo.
This thing just has a solid line of just plastic. You kind of have to yoink open like that.
Dude, that's part of the exercise. Think about it.
I only just got it, but no, I got
work those finger joints.
Hey man, it's a necessary thing sometimes.
Today was my off day actually, so I did not play it because I played it for I got it on Wednesday, so I played it for 4 days in a row. 4 days in a row I played it.
Oh, you had your cheat day today.
Well, no, it was literally by day 4, Hunter. I am not joking. I couldn't bend down anymore to go to the bottom of the shelf because my thighs hurt so much from squatting. It's not funny. Because I don't think I'm just gonna put it on my arm like this, like a backpack. But I feel like you've heard people talk about Ring Fit before. It's the 10th best-selling game on Switch somehow. But you've heard people talk about it, and people always go, "It's a real workout, guys. Like, it's a real workout. It's made me sweat. Ha ha ha! They've done it. It's not like We Fit where you do fuck all and they go, well done, you've exercised." And I was like, yeah, I believe you, but I'm not joking. This thing sucks in like a way of first day. This is how unhealthy I am, by the way. This is how fucking lazy I am as a human being. The first day I did this, I played for 20 minutes, I had to pause halfway through, and I felt like I wanted to throw up the whole time. That's how unfit I was. To be fair, I did put it on, like, the intense workout, because I wasn't going to half-arse it. I was like, if I'm going to do exercise, I'm not doing baby's first, like, rodeo, like, just do 2 squats. Well done, you're done, have a break. I'm like, no, I'll do it. But, man, this game, like, it kind of works. It's kind of crazy. Because
it just works.
It doesn't mess around.
It just
like,
works.
So basically, for those who don't know what Ring Fit is, it's partially kind of like what it's partial like health thing, but mainly it's an RPG that just requires exercise to play. Is essentially what it is. There's this big bodybuilder dragon that you've got to defeat. There's some story going on that doesn't really matter. But
wasn't that a character in Spyro?
What, a bodybuilding dragon? Yeah. Well, that's all of them.
That was just every dragon in the original Spyro.
Yeah, it was all the dragons in Spyro. I'm going to grab this. Whee! Because it comes with a leg strap. Sorry, audio listeners, I ran away to grab the leg strap. It comes with a strap that you put the Joy-Con in on that side. You put your other Joy-Con on the ring. And basically, you run. The main thing is, it's like straight path. It's like Pepsi Man, right? Straight path, right? Straight path. But instead of Pepsi Man running, you have to run. So you have...
Hey Kyle, that's my go-to example for infinite runners too.
So, what do you want me to say? Oh, you've all played Temple Run, guys, on your iPhones, right, guys?
Yeah, that was
right,
the shit back in middle school.
Yeah, Pepsi Man superiority.
It was, right? I'm trying to get to the point of Ring Fit here, but it's a straight path where you have to actually run, and then when you get to fights with monsters, it's an actual RPG where it's turn-based, it's your standard Pokemon kind of affair, but instead of just choosing a move, the game's like, well, here's your punishments, and there's a nice list of punishments, and it's like...
You choose an exercise.
Yeah, and you pick an exercise, and I was like...
And you do the exercise.
Yeah, the first thing I was like, the first one was like squats. I'm like, okay, I'll do some squats. I was expecting to have to do maybe 5 squats, and it'd be like, good job, well done. No, not 5 squats, 25 squats in a row. And then that's your turnover. 25 fucking squats, dude. I did 200 squats in 2 days playing this fucking video game. Why my thighs are burning? It's horrendous. And then the game has the audacity of going, oh, have a drink of water if you need it. I'm like, bitch, I'm dying here. I need more than water to save me.
That's what the water's for. To stop the dying.
But no, it's actually really good in terms of how accurate it is. It really works. This, I don't know what's in it. I don't know if there's actually anything in the ring, but it actually senses the force of the ring being pushed and pulled really well. It's really accurate with where you move it. The gyro in the Joy-Cons must be really doing its job. And it's a really fun workout. I've not been playing it because I'm I've just wasted $60, $80 on a fucking ring and a stupid leg strap that I'm now pissing about with. But it's it's actually a fun way to do some exercise. And it's you can do a little bit, you can do a lot. Most of the time...
Oh no, Hades down!
Get fucked, Hades. Most of the time, the game's you play 2 levels and the game's are you done for today? And 2 levels is usually around 10 minutes of exercise. So... the game doesn't force you to, do, an hour a day or whatever, and it's you better get on those gains, boy. But you can choose to do 10 minutes. I roughly do... That's active exercise, by the way. That's not just 10 minutes and you standing about and pauses in between. That is, it counts your active exercise only. So you could be playing for, most of the time I play for, 35 minutes, for 40 minutes. And it'd be yeah, you did about 20 minutes, 25 of actual, proper intense exercise. And I'm like, okay... whatever. I don't believe you. This is rigged. I tried my hardest. Leave me alone.
I did my best.
I did my best. But no, it's actually very fun. And if you're like me and you're a lazy bastard and you're I don't want to go to the gym because there's people there that'll judge me because I have no stamina. or if you don't want to do like stupid exercise DVDs or follow a YouTube guide made for children, then I think Ring Fit is actually a good kind of idea. I was kind of surprised. I was expecting it to be a bit gimmicky, but it fucking works. Like, my arms and legs were actually dead by the time I was finished playing it, because this thing packs a fucking punch. Like, I'm not even like, oh god, like literally, if I like, you see how it like it flings back? It's a fucking weapon. This thing is. But no, it's good. I'd recommend it. I can see why a lot of people bought it, especially during COVID. And yeah, it's good. I had fun with it, and I will continue to play it. My goal is to play it every day. I'll have like one cheat day a week or whatever, but play it for like a month. I'm saying the one cheat day because I had a cheat day this week, and next week I have my COVID jab, and there's no way in hell I'm doing this the day after that. Because I think my arm will have already had enough. But yeah, it's good. I like it. It's good fun, and hey, it's better than just sitting on my arse all day. So there we go. Anyway, you put up with my Ring Fit shit. It's time for Persona Talk, where it's that part of the show where Kyle updates us on Persona 3. I started playing it again, so I can talk about it.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
And more importantly,
go, brother.
Yeah, and more importantly, it's time for you to sign out if you don't want to hear us talk about Persona 3 again. So there you go. So Kyle, what's your update? Progress report on Persona 3?
I'm in December.
Oh god.
It's almost Christmas.
So you near the end.
And I think the game's almost over.
I think it ends in January, doesn't it?
I think it's like January 31st is the last day.
Damn.
But yeah, I'm nearing the end. Game is good.
You've been grinding. Like, you've done like
that's
nearly
it.
the
That's
whole
the
game this
That's
week.
the tweet.
You've been doing like you've literally played like the whole game this week. Like, where were you last week? You were like in June, or like you were like.
Didn't I just beat the first full moon boss?
Yeah, you're like in
I don't
May
even
or June.
remember.
Wow, show off. That's a lot.
Hey, Ethan, this could be you,
this
but you're
like
too busy playing with Ring
Persona
Fit.
5 last year, and I'm like, well, gotta do it in 2 weeks, and then I start my job.
I played Persona.
Yeah, it's basically that. It's almost time for me to start my job, so I'm like, well, let's get this game done.
Yeah, and I feel like I need to start finish Persona 3 before I start mine, because I won't have any time either. But
hell yeah,
it's like I started playing it, Hunter. So here we go. And we're back. My internet died while talking about Persona 3. That was fun. I don't remember where I was, to be honest. It just shut itself. I was talking about how I liked the layout of this school more than the 1 and 4.
Yeah.
I feel like
I'm inclined to agree.
Like, I like the design of 5 school. The only thing I don't like is when it asks you to go to the fucking teacher's, like the teacher's office, and you can't find it very well because it's like in the middle of a load of rooms, and you just have to go between rooms and try and find it. Persona 4's, I never got the hang of Persona 4's school. I was like, I don't know how this works. When in reality, it's like just
4's school is massive and cramped at the same time.
Yeah,
like
it's really weird.
I don't know how they did it, but
like it feels like a maze.
Yeah.
When it's really should be just like, I think it's only like 2 straight lines and 2 floors, but I'm like, it's too difficult. Whereas 3's school, I really like the design of as well. It's going for that very 2000s modern look where everything's white, Hunter, and it's like, oh look, it's the future. Everything's white and
great.
It's techie, and I'm like,
oh man, the PlayStation 5 aesthetic.
The PlayStation 5
you know, the future of 2009.
Yeah, the future of 2009. But no, I really like the characters so far. I really like the story that they're going with. The whole idea of the midnight hours, kind of an interesting concept.
Mm-hmm.
The main like professor that oversees
Kutsuki.
Yeah.
He'd be proud of you for that pun.
Yeah, I know he would. Hunter, you love him because he just makes puns all the
You
time.
would love him, Hunter.
Yay.
The one
Yay,
thing that's
this
the one,
pleases me.
The one thing that's throwing me off about him, and this is solely just because of Persona 5, is because he has the same voice actor as Igor, and I think that this one is 100% coincidental, and it's just they needed multiple people to voice multiple characters because they didn't really need it. And then I'll
tell you that one. Yes, it's coincidental.
Yeah, I'm like, it's coincidental, but I just keep saying in my head, it's just like, imagine if it was like Persona 5 and he was Igor all along, and I'm like, no, we're not doing this again. They wouldn't have done it in 5. But no, I like most of the characters for the most part. The one thing that is really bad about this video game is its intro, especially to gameplay. It just chucks you in head first and gives you no information and just goes, YOLO, have fun, work it out.
Classic.
It basically, Hunter, imagine you go to Tartarus once. It tells you, oh, this is Tartarus. It's this big fucking maze. Have fun. We'll explore the first floor. We'll go back home. And I'm like, okay. And tomorrow they'll give me my objective where they're like, okay, I was expecting them to do this whole moment that they would be like, okay, we need to get to this floor of Tartarus before this date, and then we're good to go. And I'm like, okay, that gives me an objective. No, the game's just like, you can go to Tartarus today if you want. There's also a full moon coming. We don't know. Yeah, there's a full moon coming. Don't know what that means, but that's there. There's a countdown with no goal in sight. And every day, even when I finished and climbed all the way to the top of Tartarus that I can get to, I have fucking idiot teammates going, we should go to Tartarus today. I'm like, no, we're not going. And it's just so confusing, and the game just isn't very intuitive.
It doesn't help new players.
It doesn't help you
at all. And
it's like it's such a bad start because it's not even easy to grind. It's not even like, oh, I was like, the first boss is probably level 10 or so I'll just get to level 10. No, because each fight gives you like 2 XP, and it's like, yes, that's 2 XP
grinding.
Shared
so
between
slow.
Everybody. And it's like, and everyone needs about 200 to get to level 3. And I'm like, you fucking what? You what? The audacity. So in the end, after reading Kyle's essay that he gave me, I just gave up.
Kill the purple Timmies.
Haven't seen
kill the purple Timmies and get the wands.
Haven't seen the purple Timmies, dude. Haven't seen a purple Timmy at all. I just climbed to the top. I was like level 7 by the time I got to the top of the area that I did. And then I just decided, fuck it. I saved my game here. And I was just like, if the thing at the full moon kills me, then see ya, I'm done. Because I was like, I'm not grinding to level 10. You can't make me.
There aren't any purple Timmies in the first block.
This is how I played Octopath Traveler at the end. I was like, I'm going to find a way to kill you without spending hours leveling up.
And then I did the boss, the first boss of the full moon. And I did it first try, and it was super easy. And I was like, oh, so I don't get this game at all. Like, I'm like...
So levels don't matter?
Yeah, I'm like, did the levels matter that much? I was like 3 or 4 levels under the boss's health, and I managed to still kill it easily. So I'm like...
That was something that Chris Tales was doing, where like the bosses would be set at like level... If you would like scan them, they'd be set at like level 60 or something, but that was just for, I don't know, intimidation factor, I guess, because you're still able to fight and win all of those.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, FF5 did something similar where they would just make the bosses levels were irrelevant. Some of them in late game were like level 5 with godly stats, but that's just for like the level spells, so you couldn't abuse them.
Yeah. But no, for now, my whole opinion on it is now, as I'm climbing Tartarus, I'm going to be like, if I can beat the final boss on the floor of Tartarus before the full moon, I'm basically considering that as... Fuck you, game. I'm done.
You're
grinding.
good to go.
If I can beat the boss at the top, then I can just carry on and not care about Tartarus. Because I want to spend at least a little amount of time in there as possible. Because it really just is Mementos and the Shadow World dungeons just all put into one, where it's just one fucking massive tower. And I'm like, no. Like, the first section, Hunter, is 16 floors. That's the first section, is 16 floors.
16 floors.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh... Cool. Just like 6 million to go. But no, I'm liking the story and I'm liking the characters a lot. The music's very good as well.
Ethan, by the way, to answer a question from last week about Tartarus music, you can actually change it.
Oh, can you?
Oh. Yeah. I don't remember if you can do it with Mitsuru as your nav. But if you press square while you're in Tartarus, you can change the music. Play track 3, it's the best one.
Will do, we'll keep that noted. But no, I'm enjoying it so far. The characters are interesting. It's always weird hearing these voices, because a lot of the voice actors in Persona 3 show up in the later games without giving anything away. But it's like, the first main girl that you meet, Hunter, in the game, is Kawakami's voice actor, who did this, obviously, first. And I'm like,
hilarious.
That's funny. And I'm like, and it's less awkward now talking to you because you're not like 15 years older than my actual character, than my character in this game is. Spider-Man voices the main character.
Yep.
Which is always fun.
Nice.
Another fun
Terra
fact.
Platt voices Mitsuru.
Yeah, who was Yuri Lowenthal's wife.
Yeah.
Oh, that's...
Yeah, just a little fun fact. I was like, oh yeah, there you go. Because I was like, what do I know her from? And it's that she voices Yuri in Spider-Man. No, did not remember him from Fire Emblem. I remembered her.
She voiced Edelgard in Three Houses.
Shit, she does as well. Yeah, the voice that I got it from was Yuri, Police Commissioner Yuri from Marvel Spider-Man.
Yuri in that game always cracked me up because I was like, it's funny that they got a character named Yuri when Spider-Man's voice actor's name is Yuri, and the fact
and
that
the person that they got to
his
voice...
wife is voicing
the person that they got to voice Yuri was Yuri's wife, and so Spider-Man had to call his wife Yuri for the entirety of the recording session. Was interesting one, but no, it's fun. You can see a lot of the precursors of 4 and 5 in 3.
Oh yeah,
the social link system is very much getting itself started.
It's very simplified in this game.
It's very basic. Like, I remember
it's like
saying,
you two ate ramen together. You're best friends now.
Yeah,
or that's how Ryuji's
break up.
Went.
Also, my I'm just gonna refresh my webcam because it was lagging a bit. But it was also, it's like, oh, you've got 3 social stats, and the game's like, what do you want to do to hang out tonight? And I'm like, well, it's karaoke or drink tea. And it's like there's not really that much to do.
There's only 3 of them in this game.
Yeah, there's knowledge, courage, and charm. Which,
in some way, I wish that there were less in the other ones, just because getting gated out of them later is really annoying.
See, I also...
Dude, I had these stats maxed out in October. It was great.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Now I have nothing to do with my nights because I also did the night social links too.
Oh, nice. At least
all 2 of them.
At least there's that's one more than Persona 4, dude.
It's okay, dude. One of them's Tanaka.
Oh, nice.
Amazing.
Yeah, I think that if that's one thing that I miss from 5, it's nighttime feeling like it's time to go out on the town, you know what I mean? Like in 5, it's like you can go anywhere in the world and go and hang out with some people that you probably should not be hanging out with as a 17-year-old. And that's
until
like the fun of it.
The end of the game and your options are Mishima and Oya.
Yeah. Whereas, which I hope they continue. I hope in Persona 6 you have a lot of nighttime social links, because in Persona 4 especially, and now Persona 3, it is kind of the thing where it's like, oh, it's nighttime. Nighttime doesn't feel as important. It just feels like a waste of a slot where it's like, I guess I'll go to karaoke to get 1 charm point, maybe, because like that's what I'll do. Or it's like...
Well, I mean, nighttime is where you do your dungeon crawling in Persona 3.
That is true. That's a good point.
So that's kind of probably why they didn't overload the nighttime.
True. I agree with that one. So I guess I'll give it's less of a critique for 3 than it is for 4. 4's nights do feel pointless. Like, they do feel like, what the fuck am I doing? And then you just, especially because you just have people like, you'll just walk onto the main street and you'll just have like fucking, you just have all your characters like Chie and fucking Yukiko just standing on the street in pitch black waiting to get run over, and you're like, why can't I hang out with you if you're just sitting here on the street waiting for a car to come by?
Why can't I drive the car into Chie?
Yeah, exactly. Most important questions. But no, I'm liking 3 a lot. I'm liking 3's vibe more than 4 so far, but I miss 4's structure in a way, if that makes sense. I do miss the more structured layout of 4. 4 holds your hand at least through the story, whereas 3 I feel has the more interesting story. But there you go. Those are my initial impressions. And with that, we'll leave it here so that we get no more technical issues. That's what I'm thinking. Unless anyone has something that they really want to talk about.
No, the only
go back to talking about my headphones.
So how much?
Since you're very fascinated by that.
How much did you pay for those headphones?
It's like $40.
Oh, so they weren't that expensive then. They were decent.
Yeah. It was $40 for the headphones and $30 for Hades.
Amazing.
Hey, big spender.
Oh yeah.
You got ripped off for the same price. You could buy a fucking ring of plastic, dude. It goes. It's great fun.
I don't want a ring of plastic.
You know you
but
want.
It goes in.
Yeah.
Nor do I want to go.
Tell me you don't want to go around going like this. Oh my god, my webcam is so laggy. Dude, look at this. It's like it's like a slideshow. It's like the 1920s. Here we have the common man doing exercise. It's like Yo guys, which frame do I look more buff on? The first or the third frame?
12.
Oh, gosh. And with that garbage, that has been our show. Let me just refresh my web. There we go. Our links as always.
The outro, right?
Yeah. As always, our links are on screen right now. I forgot to do that last week, so I had to add it in at the end. It was great. It's just gone to laggy. Cut to the transition where I tell you to follow us on Twitter, subscribe to our channels at youtube.com/hotgamersonly. And as always, if you want to just listen to us instead of looking at our stupid faces and terrible lagging webcams, you can go to the link tree in the description where you can find us on your favourite podcast services, such as Google Play, iOS, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify. I'm just lost. I'm lost. We're lagging. We're done. With that, thank you so much for listening this week. We'll be back same time, same place next week for more. Who knows what we'll talk about next week? No clue. Maybe we'll get that Jenna Coleman hookup. We'll see. But until then,
yeah. In a week.
Yeah. If we're not making moves,
I'd be proud of us if that happened.
Yeah, could you imagine? It'd be great. But anyways, regardless, we'll see you next week for more talk about whatever's happening in the world of gaming. But until then, have an awesome week. Yeah, we'll see you next time. Bye.
See ya.
Toodaloo.